Oh, wow.
Look at the picture, Mom. No. Look at the picture. Wait, you just opened to that page?
Uh-huh.
Look at the picture on the page.
In your hand, your left hand.
Shh.
She sees it. So can you read the page?
No.
No, here. Read this right here.
She can't read it.
Can you read that? Or do you have you?
I don't have my glasses up here.
Can you read it to her?
Read
That's
it to us,
fine.
Sydney.
Sydney's going to read it to you.
Lou
This-
Hill Baptist Basic Beliefs. Lou Hill was a pastor to many, called to proclaim the good news of Jesus to thousands over 30 years of pastoral ministry. During his ministry, he was a leader and mentor to the congregants of 4 different churches in Texas and Idaho. His final calling was to the people of Macedonia, and his heart was to reach those who were far from Jesus by supporting missionaries and helping to raise up and train indigenous pastors who would lead gospel preaching churches throughout that region. Although he never got to pursue his calling to completion, Lou ran his race until the Lord called him to glory in 2010. This publication is the bookend of a ministry dedicated to reaching the uttermost parts of the world with the gospel and training up to the next generation of ministry leaders.
Is
So
that what
that
it says
book-
here?
Yeah, that's what you're reading right there.
Who's this by?
So that book is called Baptist Basic Beliefs. Lou was working on that book with Bob Hines before he passed away, and none of us knew about it.
No, I didn't.
Bob called me in October, maybe September, and he said, "Hey, we've got this book. We finally got it translated into Macedonian."
Oh, wow.
I'm like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." I said, "Pam has never mentioned it. Lou never mentioned it." He goes, "This was something that Lou and I was working on, and I just thought you knew." So he had those books from English translated into Macedonian, and he took it over into Macedonia
Oh, did he
last
Oh, wow.
month, and he distributed it to Margin
Marion.
Marion. Uh-huh.
and some of the people in his church. And that book is intended to train up pastors in Macedonia and ministry leaders. And it was written by Harold Rawlings.
Oh,
And
really? Wow.
That was something that apparently Lou was working on with Bob.
Well, they were hoping they could. I didn't.
So he called me up. He said, I want to get this book printed. We finally finished the translation, and I want to do it in honor of Lou. So he asked me to write something up. And so he sent me a few copies. And I just thought it would be really cool for you. I mean, obviously you're not going to be able to read anything in it. But I just thought it was a really cool
It's
book
awesome.
and, a really cool part of his legacy.
Yeah.
So there's some pictures in there of the church and people that received the book, and there's some emails that Bob and I had, some correspondence as well.
I knew that he was talking to Bob about maybe trying to get some books translated. I thought they were doing Bibles, but I didn't have any idea that this was,
It's a it's a doctrine
wow.
book.
Oh.
So our church, just so you know, our church kicked in some money to help pay for the final printing costs of that as well. So that was something that Justin was a part of as well, as far as
for that.
contributing money toward it. And so I just thought it was really neat that he wanted to do that, and none of us knew anything about it.
Yeah.
So
And he was just itching to get over there to get a Bible college started.
mhm.
And well, what a great tool for that Bible college, wouldn't it?
And I think in those pictures, there's a picture of a church that they built over there that Marion had built. I don't know if Lou was a part of that or not, but
Yeah. Well, we paid for
or if it
one.
was built before
It's in a
he
little.
passed away.
It was a little. Okay, this one here.
There's also he said there's some correspondence between him and Bob. He printed out, so it's with that letter
Okay.
of Dad's, and it's from Bob, and he's explaining those pictures, and he's explaining the work and why it was done. So,
Oh, that's awesome. That's so afraid it's going to be forgotten.
it's not forgotten.
No.
Thank you.